Good evening, everybody. How are you this evening?
Good.
Great.
Doing great.
Good. Well, welcome. I want to respect your time at 6:01. I'm recording the session in case somebody shows up a little bit late or somebody has to miss the meeting for some emergency. So here's my formal welcome to the 2021-2022 school year. I am so grateful that we're able to be back in some capacity, all back in the building. It's great to see your kids wandering the hallways again. I missed that terribly last year. So for those of you that are new, welcome to Cambridge. Welcome to Bear Country. We're excited to have you, and we are looking forward to a really great season this year. So we have a lot to look forward to that we're going to talk about tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Coach Hall. I have been the head coach of this program since Cambridge opened in 2021, or sorry, that's this year, since 2012. So this is our 10-year anniversary of our program. We've come a long way. We're doing a lot of great stuff, and I'm really looking forward to the stuff that is coming to fruition this season. So I have gone ahead and posted the agenda on the swim team website. And I will go, if you just want to go to cambridgebears.com, and you can go to our swim and dive, go under sports, and you can look under the boys or the girls. It'll take you to the same place, just what I was sharing on my screen just a moment ago. That is our agenda for this evening, and all of the links on there are live. So it might be easier for you to be looking onto that instead of trying to get a link to work that might not work from the chat. So I thought that that might be easier for us this evening. So I'm sorry we can't meet face to face. It was kind of touch and go as we were scheduling this meeting about what COVID numbers were going to look like. And I thought it might be better to err on the side of caution and do it virtually rather than attempt to do it face to face and have to reschedule. So hopefully our next meeting will be able to be face to face, and I'll get to shake some more hands and meet some more of you. But I thought for first timers, it was also good that you could probably see my face instead of just covered with a mask. So here I am. And kids, if there are any new athletes out there, I encourage you to come by and see me. I'm on the Social Studies Wing 2807. I'd love to meet you if at all possible. So if you're new to the program, I'd love for you to swing by and visit. We've got some board members here this evening. Joe Gaines, I know he's on here. Joe, you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to a great season. Looking forward to it.
And we've got a whole slew of board members that are also here that are at your disposal for assistance at any time. We've got a whole bunch of great people that are here to work, and just kind of a plug for the future. If you're ever interested in serving on the board, we would love to have you help out. And so this is a well-oiled machine. We're a great group to work with. And so if you're ever interested in getting more involved, please don't hesitate to let Joe know. We'd definitely find a place for you to help out. So like I said, we've got a lot of systems in place that make your job as easy as possible. So at our next meeting, we'll do more formal, lengthy introductions of all the board members. But I have their contact information for you as well once we get going. So if you look at our agenda this evening, and I'll go ahead and share my screen again. We've got a concise list of things to go over that are really critical for the beginning of the season. So if you're on the website, you can click to view our agenda here. There we go. So we're doing registration virtually again this year. And so that'll be easy for all of you to be able to get done in this given window. So between now, it's live right now, all the way through the end of September, we're asking that you accomplish a couple of important pieces for us. It is really important that we get your information, we get your orders in at this point, because if we don't, we have to place smaller orders later on, and those are more expensive. And so if you're curious why we have on the agenda that there's a late fee, it's simply because if we order things later, the embroidery and screening requires a setup fee again, and that has to be offset in some way. So please get your registration done between now and the end of next month, and I'll be sending out reminders just in case so that you don't miss out on this window. We have registration in 3 places, and I apologize that it has to be in those 3 places, but unfortunately this is just how it has to be. There is a participation fee that is through the school, and so those are OSP links, meaning online payment systems for our school. So that'll take you to the Cambridge High School website where you will pay $70, and there's a separate account for boys and girls. So that is the most important first order of business. The second, we're going to get you the link for the swimsuit. It's not ready yet, but we'll be sending that out using the Remind and the Teams pages. And so we'll send you a link to order your suit. We are not doing a face-to-face suit fitting this year. Most athletes at this point know, and it will be a Speedo suit again, what size Speedo suit they are. And so if you know that, you can go ahead and place that order. If you do not, you are maybe a summer league swimmer that you order, different kinds of sizing. You're not as familiar. You might want to visit All American Swimwear. I've given you the link to their website right there. And they're in Roswell. It's really close to the Target in Roswell by Roswell High School. You can go ahead and head down there, and they'll let you try the suit on to see what size you are. So that would be, remember, it's a racing suit, so we want it to fit a little bit more tightly. Divers, not so much. You don't have to make it so tight. But that is, we'll be giving you a link, and it will ship directly to you. We will not get it. That is a non-refundable item. It will come straight to your house. So whether you join the team or not, you will get that suit in your possession, and that will not be refunded. Pickle Juice is where we will pay all of our other fees. And so we have a separate link for returning athletes and new athletes. On the swim website, we have access to the handbook, and I have it linked later on here in the agenda. You can go on there and see exactly what your uniform and program payment will go to. Returning athletes have a lot less of the items that need to be purchased because you already have those items in your possession. You buy them as a first-year athlete in the program, and then you carry them forward. And then we just get upkeep items like the new season shirt, and various other fees, meet entry fees, official fees, those kind of things that will go into that fee. New athletes will get their uniforms, their sweatpants and sweatshirts, and those will all be part of that new athlete package. And so next year, if you're a new athlete this year, you will have the lesser costly package. So that's something to look forward to. Right when you enter into the platform and you put in all of your stuff, it's going to ask you a number of registration items. The system will automatically charge a $100 deposit to that, and we will not cash the rest until after tryouts. And so I will send my final roster to Joe, and Joe will go into Pickle Juice and charge the rest on the final roster for the team. If you are not on the team, then you will get a refund for any items that are non-consumable items, so like official fees, entry fees, those kind of things. In the handbook, there is a specific layout as to, like I said, what will be charged, and also what we are and are not able to guarantee a refund of. And so make sure that, if you're new to the program and you're uncertain about whether you're going to make the team or not, please go and check out that refund policy to make sure you understand what those fees go to, what we're going to order up front, so that we can not have an issue moving down the road. Speaking of whether you're making the team or not, we have tryouts scheduled for October 12th. It's important to know that weekend, so this is a Tuesday evening, that weekend is the long weekend, kind of the fall weekend for Fulton County. And so that is where you have Monday off for Columbus Day, and then Tuesday is a teacher work day. So I will be at school, but the students don't have to be there. And I know a number of athletes are going out of town that weekend. And so it is at 9 o'clock. So I assume that you'll be back from any trip by then. So it'll be 9 and 9:30. We have 2 time slots for our tryouts to minimize bodies on the deck. Usually I like to have them all in one chunk, but I'm concerned that Delta is going to not be resolved by that point. So we're going to minimize contact on deck. And I'll be making sure to send out to anybody who registered all of the protocols that the building has for COVID. So needing a mask is going to be required on deck while you're waiting to go, and those kind of things are going to be down here with the protocols. Parents cannot be on deck. We can't have extra bodies out there, so please wait in the car. It's only going to be a half hour. And we'll make sure to get them in and out as quickly as possible. Divers do not need to try out. But I will need your practice schedule. So make sure that is emailed to me so that I can know what you're going to be doing during the season. So for swimmers, here is your list of events that we will do. We do the same thing every year. What am I looking for? I'm looking for turns. I'm looking for starts. I'm looking for legality. I'm looking for comfort in the water. And so there are also time expectations. I've linked the handbook here. It's on our website. There is a section on there for what my expectations are for your times. And please look at those if you're a new athlete to the program. Please look at those and make sure that you're in that ballpark. And they're pretty generous times, but it's important for all athletes to understand that we only have a varsity level team. We do not have a JV team. And I don't want to have somebody staying on the roster, paying all the fees, and coming to all the practices when I can't guarantee you'll be able to swim based on your times. And so make sure that you are within that range. So that we can comfortably make sure that you have a place on that roster and you'll have an opportunity to compete, because that's what it's all about. And so make sure your physical is done. The link is right here for Dragonfly Max. There is an application that you can download for your phone where all of your physical forms are going to be done on paper, but then you take pictures of them and you upload them to the website. Then they get looked over by our athletic director and some of our trainers, and they'll make sure everything looks good. I recommend, as a side note, because they only let you upload one document to a number of the items, and there are multiple pages. So just make sure if you have an iPhone, you can use the Notes app and take pictures, and you can take multiple pictures, turn them into a PDF file where you can have all of your documents on a single file for each section that they're going to ask for. And so if you're having trouble, just let me know. But I know that last year, number of people had problems where they could only upload one page. And it's not that you can't upload one page, you can just upload only one file. So please make sure that you are scanning all of a single section on one file, all of another section on another file, so that they're easy to upload and you can get those cleared. Because if it's missing pages, they will reject it, and I cannot let you try out without that being cleared. I need to have it all green. And that's why I have on here, please make sure that all documents are posted 7 days prior to tryouts so that we have plenty of time to make sure that those are cleared. I will not track down the AD and our trainers the day of tryouts to get you cleared. It is critical that that is on your plate to get that done, so that it's done with plenty of time for us to get that cleared. If you do have a problem with insurance where you can't get another physical done before a certain date and it's going to expire within the season, post whatever physical you currently have that gets you at least through tryouts, and then you can upload a new one once that one expires. I do know that a number of urgent care, like the one near Target, the Piedmont Urgent Care, they do physicals. And I think even without insurance, it's just maybe like $20. And so if you wanted to go and get a physical done through them, please make sure to call ahead, because I do know that they're really overwhelmed with COVID testing and things like that. So calling ahead, they will schedule some appointments for you at that urgent care. I will not take paper forms at tryouts. So please don't bring those in hopes that that'll get you on deck. I cannot put you on the roster unless you have a cleared physical. So that is a really, really important component of what we do, because I can't lose my job for having you on deck and putting you on a roster when you haven't been cleared by our school. And so please make sure you look at our handbook. Like I said, I'm not going to read the whole handbook to you, so please take some time to look over that. Even if you're a returner, some of the things have changed in that handbook, especially dealing with state and how you make state, because as our program gets bigger and more talented, we have deeper talent. We are having more athletes qualify for state than we can take. And so it's important. I added that this year because it's becoming a reoccurring problem, especially with our dive team, who are just an exceptional group of athletes. And we're restricted so severely in how many we're allowed to bring. So I wanted to make sure to lay out protocols for how we're going to handle cases where we have too many athletes in a particular event that I can't take everyone who's qualified. So there have been a couple of updates to the handbook to reflect some of those good problems that our program has developed over time. And so again, parents cannot come on deck during tryouts unless we have asked you to help out, which likely we will be able to facilitate this just with our board, and then our returning athletes and some of our captains helping out with the new athletes for that portion. Again, we need to make sure we have masks on inside of that facility. It's a Fulton County rule. I'm not sure if it's still the Cumming Aquatic Center rule, but it's definitely a Fulton County rule. And I do need to make sure to take your temperatures prior to getting on deck. So it's important that you show up a bit beforehand. Please make sure you come dressed in your suit under your clothes so that you can just put your stuff, put your backpack down, put your clothes away, jump in the pool, get ready, and we can have minimizing of contact. We're going to do our new athletes first. We're going to assign you, once we get registration done, we'll assign you a heat and a lane. And the same thing for our returners, we'll assign you a heat and a lane for your portion of the tryouts as well. If you go onto our website as well, there is a section of practice information, and I've posted on there all the different practice options. But for those that want to practice with me, we'll begin practice on the 14th. So that gives you a day to figure out carpool before we start. And so tryouts are on that Tuesday evening. I will post the roster the next day. That's probably when they'll be able to get it on the website. And then we will start practice the following day. And we will start workouts, dryland workouts with Core 57 on the 19th at 4 o'clock at the Milton Gym. And so that's for any athletes that will be practicing with me and any divers that are not also doing something like gymnastics. If you're doing those gymnastics workouts, I do need to know what your dryland schedule is so that if you're not at our workouts, I know what you're doing at your workouts. We're going to start optional work at Core 57 in Milton on the 4th of October, and that'll be from 4 to 5. Those are completely optional, but it's a great opportunity to get some work in before the season, get a foundation going, and get your body moving before we hit the water. So please make sure that you go and fill out the release forms and the waiver forms. You need to bring those physical copies with you when you come to the gym so that the gym can have them and be covered for anything that might happen. We've never had any accidents happen there, but just in case, we'd like to make sure we have everything covered. And year-round athletes should continue practices as normal, so you don't need to be interrupted with that. And so make sure you're looking at the handbook. I've also posted on there our practices that take place over breaks, so like Thanksgiving break and winter break. Yes, we do have practices over those periods. Those are for athletes that want to letter. A varsity sport, the difference between varsity and JV is that varsity athletes are practicing in those times that are more challenging to accommodate, more difficult to accommodate because they have that level of commitment and expectation. If lettering is not as important to you, then practices over break are completely optional. And so that's a decision that you make with your family. And so all of that lettering policy is outlined in detail in the handbook if you want to look more closely at that. But there are a number of components in there. Break practices would be one of those. If you're a year-round athlete, I will have a break workout form for you that your coach will sign to prove that you also participate in break workouts. I have two forms that I have athletes fill out that are mandatory. One of them is ongoing. And so this form here is a meet attendance form. So it has our current schedule on there, and you are going to list all the ones that you are and are not going to be available for. And so if you're a year-round athlete, whenever you get your year-round schedule, if you could go ahead and then fill out this form, wait until you get that schedule so that you know what meets you won't be able to go to for like senior state or some of the other big meets that you have in your season. We hope that you can come to as many of our meets as possible. And if you're not doing club, then go ahead and fill this out as soon as possible. I would like it before tryouts. And so I would make sure that you as a family go into your family calendar and mark off all the meets that you have committed to being at. And my expectation is that unless you have an excused reason to be gone, like a family funeral, a wedding, or a club meet, then you are at our meets. So going to a college football game is not considered an excused absence, and often that does happen in the first part of our season where athletes want to go and visit their siblings in college and go to a football game. That is not excused. And so that is part of the lettering policy. If you want to have unexcused absences, that's up to you. But just bear in mind that that's going to be the impact. But I need to know an accurate number because I need to enter these meets about a week in advance. And so I need to know if you're going to be there or not as soon as possible. So please fill that out to the best of your knowledge, and we'll talk about how you can edit that in just a moment. This is for any event requests. So if there is an event that you like, for especially our new athletes, an event that you really want to swim because you think you can get a state qualifying time in that. I don't know you as well, so it'd be great if you filled this out for me. If you don't have an event request form filled out, I'm going to put you in whatever I want you in. And I can't guarantee that I will put you in all of these events, but it's a great way for us to communicate about what you want to do. Club athletes, you guys have an agenda of things that you often want to accomplish. Maybe your goal is to, get a state cut in as many events as you can. So I want to know which events you want to swim together. So go ahead and take a look at this. There's also opportunities for you to request relays and particular legs and relays and those kind of things. This is another critical piece so that I can help you accomplish the things that you want to accomplish during the season. So doing both of those items would be really critical for me. That event request form is open all season, so you don't need to do it for all the meets right up front. At least a week in advance, go ahead and put it in for that meet so that I can know what you want to do for that meet. But like I said, you don't have to do them all at the same time. Just one at a time is fine, so you can have multiple entries for this particular form. For the change form, this is, so suddenly we have a funeral we must attend out of town, and I no longer can attend this meet. You're going to go in, these are all on the website. You're going to go ahead and fill out this form to let me know that you will no longer be available for that meet. It also works in reverse. So you were going to be going to a club meet, but that club meet has been canceled due to COVID, and now you can attend our meet. So you can fill out this form and let me know, now I am available for this meet. If it is really close to the meet date, fill out this form and also email me. If you're able to fill it in a week in advance, that is great. And that's perfectly, that's going to work well enough. But if it's just a couple of days before and suddenly your club meet has been canceled and you want to come to our meet, fill out this form and also shoot me an email and let me know that it's been filled out. And I can try to fit you into our meets as to the best of my ability. We don't know what our COVID impacts are going to be yet. As of right now, we don't have a lot of restrictions. We don't have any practice restrictions right now, so that's all good news. But I want to make sure to be very transparent about the fact that there could be. So coming down the line, based on what we had last year, we had restrictions on how many entries we could have. We had restrictions on the spectators. We had restrictions on various components of our meets that did make it unfortunate for especially parents that wanted to watch. It limited those opportunities. I know that those things are very frustrating, but we are balancing 3 different kinds of rules. We're balancing county rules, we're balancing facility rules, and we're balancing GHSA rules. So please try not to be angry with me. None of these are in my control. I don't make any of these rules. And it is really important that to the best of your ability that you have a positive attitude for your kids. I know that they'll be disappointed in certain restrictions and certain things. And so as long as you can maintain a positive attitude, that is really helpful to me. Anytime we cannot have spectators, I always live stream our meets so that you can watch from home. And so I take my computer with me and I film as we go so that you can be as much there as possible. So we do the best we can. And we made it work last season, but hopefully we'll have a lot less of that this year. Do everything you can to mitigate the risk. And if that's getting the vaccine and that's the right choice for your family, we encourage you to do that. Wearing a mask in places where there's a lot of people, even if you are vaccinated, is also really helpful. I've gone back to wearing my mask at Target and Costco and things like that, just because I would hate to have to quarantine and miss school, or quarantine and miss part of our season, or affect my children having to quarantine. So anything you can do benefits us as a whole program, because we didn't have to bail out on any meets last year due to COVID. Our team was able to maintain our whole schedule that we had, and we were the only team last year, the only team that didn't have any cancellations due to COVID. And so in terms of us having to quarantine. So I would like to maintain that. And so let's be diligent and do the right thing, not just for our individual selves, but for our program as a whole, so that we can be as successful as possible. And the team knows from last year, the closer we get to state, the more anxious I get. And that's even on an easy year. So, communication, This is the number one. I put this top notch because this is where I want you to go first and foremost if you have any questions. Our board is super responsive. Marilee Hamilton is in charge of our communications, and she has been the one that's been sending stuff out to you. She will get back to you very quickly. And if she can't answer a question, she reaches out to me and then she'll get back to you. So please don't email me with all the questions. The board has a wealth of knowledge that they can be able to answer things without getting on me. I have a full AP schedule that I'm teaching in addition to other sections I'm covering for a teacher out on maternity leave. So I have a full plate in addition to swim and family. So please do whatever you can to communicate with the board first so that I can focus on my job and your kids, and the board can kind of fill in those blanks for me because that's the most help that they provide. If an athlete has any questions, they are absolutely free to email me. Sorry, parents, but I am at your children's disposal and not yours. And so I encourage athletes to be advocates for themselves. They should be directly communicating with me if they have any issues, if they have any concerns, if they feel like something's unfair, if they want to discuss meet entries, or if they want to discuss, being chosen or not for a relay or something, anything. I want them to come to me first. I don't like it when a parent comes to me first simply because I feel like a student, an athlete, and myself should be able to work out a solution pretty easily. And then we can talk through it, and it tends to de-escalate situations pretty quickly. I like to keep things out of the front office, out of our athletic director's office. So let's try to keep things in-house. We're usually really good about that. So let's just maintain that expectation. We're a well-oiled machine program. So please let us help you. And we're more than happy to do so. Please join our Team Remind because that's where I will update you on things that are urgent. So Marilee will be emailing you out with anything that is long-term. So usually we send out about one email a week that's like, hey, here's what's coming up. Here's the meet that's coming up. Just a reminder, fill out the meet request form. Just a reminder, if you need to miss this meet, you need, this is the deadline. But if there's something urgent, like suddenly we have a snowstorm and we have a meet canceled. Suddenly we're changing the pickup time because our warm-up slot has moved up. If there's, any last minute communication, it's going to be done with text messaging. So please make sure that you are signed up for that. And we have attached our tentative schedule here so you can see what we're looking at right now. This is tentative. It is almost set in stone, but I already have a couple of meets that are kind of in flux a little bit right now. As you can see, we have a great schedule for this season. A lot of new meets that we have opportunities to be in. We'll be starting the meet with time trials this year instead of our usual Raider relays. This will give our kids a chance to get in the water and have touch pads and get a baseline time for themselves for some of their events so that during the season they can track their progress. Usually our kids don't know how they're doing until later in the season. So this is kind of a low pressure situation where our kids can really get in the water, see where they're starting from, and then make goals about where they want to go from there. Usually I put our goals for the season before it starts. But I'm going to wait until after time trial so then kids know where they are, and then we can plot out where we want to go from there. So that's going to be a really great opportunity for us. And we've got a lot of great dive opportunities. We have a lot of great early competition with some of our big competitors. So we know Lassiter is one of our big competitors, Johns Creek. And so we've got a brand new meet, North Fulton versus Forsyth County Schools. This will be a big 2-day meet for us. Diving will be on one day, swimming will be on the other. And so it'll be a nice big invite where all the North Fulton schools are going to be on one team and all the Forsyth schools are on another team. So that should be really fun. So we're kind of the captain of the North Fulton team, and Denmark will be the captain of the Forsyth County team, and that should be really fun. We're actually hoping to finally get our regions meet off the ground. We were supposed to have it last year, but due to COVID, we weren't able to. Fulton County Championships is back. We're going to make that happen. Meet of Champions is back. We're going to be at swimming against North Gwinnett. That'll be a great opportunity for us as well. Metro Championships is back. So we've got a great season planned out. And so I'm really looking forward to this level of competition and all these great pools. We are not at Dynamo once. No Dynamo this season. Dynamo in Alpharetta is a challenging pool to be at, to say the least, and we will not be there at all. And so that is great news for us. I think this will set our kids up really well to do the very best times that they can for the season in preparation for state, where I always have high expectations. So This is where I have finished my agenda. So I would love to take any questions that you all have about any of the agenda items, any of the expectations, or any other outlying outlying issues that you might have.
Hi, Coach. Sheila's up
Hey,
here.
Sheila.
How are you? Just wanted to see, when do you think the schedule will be finalized?
It is 90% finalized. So there's only like a teeny tiny few pieces that could move. So I would count on that schedule as of right now.
Okay, thank you.
Any other last minute things I should have finalized in the next 2 weeks.
Are practices still at Coming Water?
They are.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, Coach Hall.
Yes. Who's there?
It's Paige.
Hi, Paige.
Do you know what time practices are going to be? Is it same time?
9 to 10.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
It's in the handbook if you look in there, but 9 to 10 is the slot that we've been given.
Hey, Coach Hall, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump in too. Just to remind everyone, from a fundraising perspective, while we have our fees that support the team directly, we also do a lot of extra things for all of our athletes, and I think every one of them will agree that we always have a really great experience during the year, whether it's at state or for every event. So from a family perspective, during the registration process, our big fundraising is going to be CAA memberships. That money comes directly to the team if you go ahead and allocate that to there. So that helps us to avoid doing any car washes, wrapping paper sales, coupon books, you name it. So just be aware, if you're new to the team, that's our traditional fundraising. Join CAA. It gives our team a bigger voice with the CAA directly. And then also, again, that funding, that additional funding comes directly to our team. In majority of it does there. So that's good news there. So please consider that, be generous, join at what's appropriate for your family's level, but at least a minimum membership would be appreciated by all.
I have just put the link for that into the chat. So you can check out there how you can sign up for a CAA membership. It's also, if you're at our website on the cambridgebears.com, you can go under Support the Bears under one of the top bars, and it'll say CAA family memberships, and that's where you can go ahead and sign up virtually. And this would be a great time to do that. So then you can attend the football games and those kind of things. So those are really, really great opportunities for us to make the money that we need for training and filling some of the other gaps and state gear and those kind of things. That helps out with all of those things. So we encourage every family to join. And the bigger membership block we have, the more of a voice we have. And CAA is our biggest advocate. So if they see that we're very participatory, we will have a more opportunities to have a say in things that happen with CAA funding and things.
Hi, Coach. My son is a newbie this year, so I was just wondering, like, where to start from. There are so much information in here, but which are like prerequisites before we go for the tryouts and come to know like we'll make to the team or not.
So if you go into the handbook, which is linked in the agenda, and the handbook is posted on our website, I would review there. There's a whole section for tryouts with time expectations. And so if your child is new and has never been, if your child's been a competitive swimmer in the past, they have times that they're aware of. Even if they've just done summer league, they should have know what their times are for various events, and so they can compare those times with what that chart is in the handbook, and that'll give them a good idea about where they stand. If they don't know what their times are, I would encourage them to get to a pool. So go on a Saturday to Cumming Aquatic Center or one of the community pools or if you're, a member at Lifetime or LA Fitness, they have pools and you can go there and have somebody clock their time, use just a stopwatch and then see where the time falls. So all of the events that we swim are listed in that handbook. And so he can see if his times fall within that range, and see how likely they are to make the team.
Understood. Yeah, he was in Lifetime team for a while, but after this COVID happened, he didn't compete. So I'm not really
So
sure.
it might be advantageous to jump in and see what his current times are. And again, sometimes you just need to get back in the water. And I'm encouraging, especially our returners, I hope that they're getting back in the water and getting refamiliarized, because the first couple weeks are difficult. So if he can get back in the water now, he has time to get, some foundation in before the season starts.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Hey, I'm sorry if you answered this already, but when you're doing the times, you're doing that off the block, correct? Not just from the
Correct.
wall?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a quick question about the suits for this year.
Yes.
Are they going to be like the same shape as last year's?
Yes.
Or are they going to be?
They're
okay.
similar.
Okay. Yeah,
We
because
will
last
in
year
the-
they were wide, if that makes sense.
The back.
Yeah, it didn't fit me correctly, and it was just really loose. So I was just checking.
So I would, Addie, I would order a size smaller. And if, the suit will be in the order form, you'll be able to see it. And it might be advantageous of you to go to the swim shop and try it on. And then they'll be able to give you some advice as to what kind of sizing would fit you better. And if it really does make you uncomfortable, they might be able to offer you a different suit. Since you're a diver, and your comfort is in a different kind of way, then maybe they can show you a different design that you can have.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Hall, does last year's suit still work, or do we need to order a new one as well?
We do a new one every year.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, because they stretch out. I want their racing suit to be tight, so we get a new suit every year.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you for joining our board this year, Miss Anderson. Appreciate having you.
You are welcome. I'm happy to be on it. And you can call me Nastrin.
All right, well, if there's no other questions, I'm going to hang out here for a little bit longer, but I'll end the recording and I'll let everybody get on with their evening. I was so glad to have all of you on this evening. Again, I wish we could be meeting in person, but I look forward to meeting more of your athletes. Hopefully they can swing by and meet me in the building. Please reach out to Joe Gaines or the board with any questions you might have, and athletes, you may reach out to me between now and tryouts with any questions. But we are looking forward to a great season. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.